Hey guys, what's going on? So today, um, probably help if I put the camera down here, push that back a little bit more. Let's try to. I think you guys can see the. You guys can't even. I have so much aircrafts. You guys can't even see them all. Okay, so back to one of my more original ones. I have my A10. So there's that. Pretty sweet. They did a lot of amazing details on this. Probably can't even see it all on camera, but they do have a actual. The cockpit is actually like glass, like not glass, but plastic see-through. You can kind of see in there. No heads-up display. It's too small. It's too small for a heads-up, but it's pretty nice size. It's what I was going for. Something that could fit in the hand. Something that you could pick up and look at very easily without having it be this massive model with a bunch of fragile little parts attached to one like model. So we're gonna put the camera down. So all around, the A10 is an excellent model. I really enjoyed the A10. So I'm gonna go ahead and move those out of the way. Next up is my F-14 Tomcat. It does have the Jolly Roger livery on it, as you guys can clearly see right there. And so, yeah, it's in Dorito mode. It does not come out of Dorito mode, which is unfortunate because that would be really interesting to see. Yeah, it's all one solid thing, so it doesn't come out of Dorito mode. Do not try to have it come out of Dorito mode, otherwise you might actually break it. Next is the SR-71 Blackbird, with the Air Force livery on it. These things are awesome. They have a tendency to want to go to space. So yeah, there's that. Next one's kind of stealthy. I might not have noticed it, but it is the B-2 Spirit. Talk about strange-looking aircrafts. This thing is, I'm going to say, based off of the Horton 229. It's the B-2 Spirit, and it is just awesome. You people playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 know this thing as the stealth bomber. And that's what it is. It is a stealth bomber, and it is really sweet. On the bottom, forgot to show the bottoms of these. On the bottom, you can see like the bomb bay doors and all that stuff on the bottom. Got little stuff right there. Kind of neat. And some of those are where the landing gears get deployed. $2.4 billion in airframe. So these things are very expensive. On the bottom of the SR-71 Blackbird, not much detail, just some panels, very lightly etched on there. The fact they did do some stuff down there, kind of interesting. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The A10 has a pretty cool feature underneath it. If you look on the bottom, not only do you get to see some of like the rockets and missiles, but you see that gray area, that's all the cannon. That's a 30 millimeter cannon. That's enormously awesome. So there's that. On the bottom of the F-14, probably the best detailed out of all of them, honestly. Look at the bottom of that. Yeah, it's really well detailed. I really like it. Yeah, dude, you get a whole bunch of like intricate little detail. Yeah, these things are awesome. The F-14 Tomcats. Um, Definitely a prized aircraft in my collection. Definitely one of my most favorites. Most badass looking one, at least. One of them. Next up is on everyone's favorite helicopter list. We all know it. The AH-64 Delta Model Apache Longbow. Try saying that 5 times fast. Yeah, it has a really long name. But yeah, dude, this thing is just awesome, man. Yeah, the bottom turret here moves. It's not a play feature, obviously, because you don't play with these damn things. But yeah, that's awesome. That bottom turret does move. So if I wanted to point it at the camera, just turn that a little bit. Now the turret is actually pointed at you guys. If I wanted to point it forward, you can just spin it forward a little bit. So now the turret is facing forward. It's kind of hard to see it, but it is an actual turret. Next, you guys probably remember this one. One's one of my personal favorites. The F-35. And yeah, this thing's really sweet. The bottom is very detailed. Extremely detailed. It's got rockets on it. It's one of the cooler models. Yeah, definitely one of my favorite jets of all time. Now, when you put it next to the F-14, the F-14 is wider and longer. Now, so the bottom base plate of this one wants to come off. The base plate and the stand are attached to this one, but the aircraft wants to come off. This one, it's literally just the base plate that wants to come off. I don't know what all that's about. But here we have the monstrous look at this thing. This is the F-22 Raptor. Dude, this thing is the latest edition of my new collection. Okay, apart from the B2, which I had to have a B2. Like let's be honest here for a second. I had to have a B2 bomber. We've just had them for so long. This is one of the coolest aircrafts. But this F-22 is pretty sizable. I'm going to show you guys a side-by-side comparison. Now, this here is the F-35, and this here is the F-22. Can you tell the difference between the two? All right. Remember which hand they're in. F-22 and F-35. All right. So watch this. Look at the size difference. Holy shit. Yeah. This thing's a beast. Like, yeah. So this one does have a bit of camouflage to it. So that's kind of neat. It's kind of very subtle, not too much. I like that. They do render the cockpit in there pretty well. The intakes are pretty well done. As you guys can see, those intakes in there are really nice for this scale. And the back is just really nice. Look at that detailing back there. Yeah, dude, this thing is awesome. The F-22. F-35 Lightning II, F-22 Raptor. The bottom is fairly well detailed, but not as detailed as the F-35. Each of these cost around $26, pretty much, essentially. So if you do the math, they're basically, each of them are pretty, like, I think the 36, 37, pretty much are like $30 a piece, pretty much. On Amazon, you pay for shipping and handling and all that nonsense. Tax, after tax, it pretty much comes very close to $30. So if you just round it over, each of these are around $30. Say 28 bucks a piece. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's over. It's over like $100 easily, like over $140 worth of aircrafts. And honestly, like, yeah, they're pretty dope. Like, they're coming along pretty well in my collection here. I like them. The next one I want to get is an F-16 and the F-15 Eagle and the FA-18 Super Hornet. Those are like the next three I want to get. But my favorite one so far in this, my favorite two would be the F-14 and the F-22 Raptor. The F-22 Raptor is just a massive size. Like, it is a good size. It is an interesting size. So the scale, we're going to go over the scale for each of these. So the scale for the F-22 Raptor is 1 to 145. The scale for the F-35, this is the F-22 Raptor, is 1 to 145, and the scale to the F-35 is 1 to 144. So, just one, like, it's just slightly smaller. They were the same exact scale. This one would just be like less than a centimeter on both sides, wider and longer. They'd look a little bit more comparable. But when you put like the B-17 on top and you're just like, wow, this thing has such a large wingspan. This thing is just massive. This one here, the B-2, I say B-17, I might say the B-2 Spirit bomber, and it is pretty awesome. But yeah, the A-10 though is in a pretty awesome scale. It is comparable to the F-30, the F-22 Raptor. I'd say this is a pretty fair comparison. Like, it's a pretty realistic comparison, at least in general, in terms of size. Look, the wingspan of the A-10 is wider. Also notice the A-10 from from tail fin to tail fin is almost around the same length. From wing to wing, the tail is longer and sticks out further back. So, they are, pretty comparable. But when you take the F-35, it's such a smaller jet. It's so small, in fact, I'd argue that, oh my Lord, just like putting them, like, you could fit that onto there almost. You guys seeing that? You can fit the F-35 into the F-22. Like, that to me is insane. When I saw these two next to each other, like, I just almost could not believe it. Like, I mean, look at this. Look at them next to one another. Look how much space. That just comes up to the nose. Barely like the middle of the nose right here. Look how much more space See how much more space is in front of my finger than the nose of this? That's how much longer that is, dude. That is insane. Of course, the Apache, when pulled off, when you sit it next to this, I mean, it's kind of realistic, honestly, the way it would honestly sit. Because remember, this is a helicopter, so it's designed differently. But when you put this next to that, they're pretty comparable. So yeah. I like them. I think that they're fun to own. So yeah, the F-35 does have like the full-on missiles on the bottom, the rockets. The A-10 has very small rockets that are not very detailed. Those are and besides the Apache, those are the only three with actual guns on them. The F-14, I don't think it shows the armament on the F-14 at all. It just shows like the fuel tanks on it. They could have put like 2 rockets on there and like an armament. They could have at least done that for the F-14 Tomcat. I think they could have. They might have a version with weapons on it. The F-16 doesn't look like it has any weapons on it. It might have some small rockets on it though. So yeah, and just get ready for it, man, because the next big one I want to get is, of course, the B-1B Lancer and the F-16, the F-15, and the FA-18 Super Hornet. And while I'm at it, while I am at the whole thing, like while I'm at it, I might even acquire some other stuff. Oh no. Yeah, that's the whole collection right there. They're pretty awesome. So I own around 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. All right, man. Well, see you guys next time.